Hi, I'm Cassandra Clark Williams, and I am the owner of Coaching with Clark. Just to give you a bit of information about my background, I am about to celebrate in October my 20th wedding anniversary. I have three amazing boys. I am a relationship coach. I have worked in the school system for 15 years. 7 years I was served as a special educator, and for the past 8 years I have been serving as a school counselor. I am also a licensed mental health therapist. So that is a bit of background about myself. And I am going to present to you today. I would like to thank Allison Bird for this opportunity to share my story and my information that I have for you guys. So I will be presenting today on improving relationships with others while maximizing life experiences. So Henrik Edberg stated that at the heart of life lies the relationships that we have with people. A research study was conducted at the University of Warwick in England, and found a strong association between a gene mutation identified with happiness and well-being. That gene mutation is called 5-HTT-LPR, and it affects the way the body metabolizes the neurotransmitter serotonin. Serotonin regulates our mood, our appetite, and our sex drive. The study wanted to determine why some nations like Denmark top the happiness charts, and wonders if there's a genetic connection between Denmark and the happiness of its people. This study also believed that the more Danish DNA, the greater the person's happiness. Well, when I read this research, I said, I kind of disagree with this research, only in the sense that what other studies like this were conducted to determine if other people in other countries had this same genetic, connection. And what did this study assess for? Research has shown that relationships promote happiness as well. So a good relationship is more than something that we want. It's also something that we need. Um, we need to be at our happiest and healthiest, and good relationships promote that productiveness. Relationships are an investment in time and energy, and it builds upon social skills. So how would you rate your happiness in your relationships? Before you do that, let's take a moment to look at some relationship facts. So there are multiple types of relationships. There's a parent-child relationship, there's siblings, husband and wife, co-workers, friends, boyfriend and girlfriend. So the way I interact with my mom, I wouldn't interact with my husband. I wouldn't interact with my coworkers the same way that I would interact with my sisters or siblings. So the way we interact within these relationships are totally different. So we will not respond to people in the same manner as we would certain other people based on the relationship. So other relationship facts. So building relationships is definitely not an innate situation, is not hereditary. Relationship skills are learned, but the key is being able to recognize that the relationship you currently have needs improvement. And if your greatest relationships do not outweigh your least greatest relationships, you can stand and improve upon your relationship skills. So, what's wrong with relationships today? For a percentage of us, our relationships are simply not fulfilling due to the lack of strength and depth of the relationship. In today's society, some relationships are shallow and superficial. These types of relationships do not provide satisfaction or meaningfulness. Let's take Facebook for as an example. How many of those relationships on Facebook can you actually testify to that are satisfactory, or give you satisfaction or meaningfulness to your life? Probably almost less than many that do. So that's just one example of how we are interacting in relationships that may not bring us satisfaction or meaningfulness. So relationships are needed, strong relationships are needed because relationships increase success. They are a buffer to stress. They promote physical, spiritual, and emotional health. Relationships contribute to happiness and joy. Relationships contribute to growth and evolution. It increases success. There's actually a correlation between the quality of the relationships in your life, how long you live, and how healthy and happy your remaining years of life will be. A study was conducted, and the study found the lack of social connection can be as damaging as smoking cigarettes, drinking every day, and having an inactive lifestyle. Social media and relationships. So, social media is a great tool to help you connect with people, build relationships, and provide support. However, social media lacks emotional support. Emotional support has been shown to protect us from mental and physical ailments. So, we are unable to get the emotional closeness with online friends that we can obtain with face to face relationships. Online friends cannot provide a hug when you need it. They cannot visit you in the hospital, and they definitely can't meet you after work on a Friday for happy hour. So continue to connect with those online friends, but make sure that you are building real life relationships as well. Social media friends cannot substitute for real life friends. So some common problems that are faced in all relationships overall is lack of communication, denial, failure to listen, jealousy, lack of support, criticism, defensiveness, contempt, stonewalling, money, gossiping, unforgiving attitudes, unrealistic expectations, lack of support, feeling unloved, avoidance, physical and verbal abuse, arguments, deceit, manipulation, disrespect, and social media. So, if you have identified 2 to 3 of these problems in any of your relationships overall, it is time for you to make a change. And now that you recognize that a change must occur, how committed are you to that change? Let's discuss change for a moment. The definition of change is the act or instance of making or becoming different. Who doesn't want to be a better version of themselves? I am definitely a better version of myself than I was 2 years ago, and I plan to be a better version of myself 2 years from now. So change is happening now more than ever. You will have to find ways to keep improving yourself. Otherwise, you are going to get left behind. Change is happening all around you, even if you are not willing to change. However, in order to move to the next level, you must make a change now. Let's take my grandmother, for instance. My grandmother is 88 years old, and she has no interest in making a change in her life because of her age and where she is in life. However, that's not stopping change from happening all around her. So if you're not willing to make a change, change is still going to occur around you, whether you are going with it or you're not going with it. So you will never get a different result by paralyzing yourself by your old ways. The metamorphosis process. Change is evolutionary. So a caterpillar cannot become a beautiful butterfly without the metamorphosis process. This is a It is through this process of becoming a butterfly that procreation occurs. On the other hand, cockroaches, grasshoppers, and crickets have an incomplete metamorphosis process. So, are you going to be a beautiful butterfly and transform into a new you? Or are you going to be a cockroach, a grasshopper, or a cricket that is incapable of going through the transformation process? So, are you ready? I created a 12-week, 6-step system. In this system, you will complete 12 modules that is going to help you change your life. The name of this program is called the Change Program. Change is an acronym for communication, honing in on mindset, affirmations, noticing the greatness in others, giving anonymously, and expressing gratitude. Again, the acronym is communication, honing in on mindset, affirmations, noticing greatness in others, giving anonymously, and expressing gratitude. So, communication to a relationship is like oxygen to life. Without it, it dies. So, how communication works is that each person in a relationship enters with a different communication level and skill. And just talking does not equate to communicating. Effective communication is a process that involves speaking, listening, processing the information or message, and receiving a feedback. The message usually gets lost because of feelings and emotions take over based on how the message was delivered and how it was perceived. So, active listening is one of the biggest problems in communicating. So, here are a few tips to help you practice active listening. Be fully in the moment when having a conversation with someone. Stop and give them your undivided attention. Keep the conversation in the present moment, in the here and the now. Don't bring up what happened 2 months ago or what happened 2 years ago. Make sure you keep it in the here and now. Rephrasing. Rephrasing is a skill used to reiterate back to the person what you heard from their message so you can get clarity from them that you are understanding their message that they're conveying or you're not understanding their message that they're conveying. Avoid interrupting and redirecting the conversation by saying, oh, if you think that was bad, wait until I tell you what happened to me. Well, if you're waiting for your turn to tell your story, then that means you're not paying attention to the message that the person is trying to convey to you. So refrain from doing waiting to tell your story and be active and listen to what the person is saying. Defer judgment. You don't have to agree or like what the person is saying, but you can understand what the person is saying. Pay attention to nonverbal communication because nonverbal communication can tell you way more about how the person is feeling than what they're actually saying out of their mouth. So really pay attention to body language. William James said, whenever you are in a conflict with someone, there is one factor that can make the difference between damaging that relationship or deepening that relationship. That factor is your attitude, which brings us to mindset. So mindset is our set of beliefs that you believe about yourself and your basic qualities. There are two types of mindset. There are fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. People with fixed mindsets believe that they have a certain amount of brains and talent and nothing can change that. These people worry about their traits and how adequate they are. They are usually have something to prove to themselves and others. People with a growth mindset are the opposite. These people see their qualities and things that can be developed through dedication and efforts, and having brains and talent is a small fraction of their capabilities. They believe that practice, passion, learning contributes to their accomplishments. So, some steps you can take to changing your mindset is the very first thing you must understand in changing your mindset or venturing on changing your mindset is that you are responsible for you only. You cannot control anyone else but you. So, beware when your internal voice is telling you negative things and practice writing those things down. Self-defeating or negative thoughts will crush you like a soda can in a compactor real quick. So you have to focus on reversing those negative thoughts. Review situations that you interpreted to be negative and look for something positive within that situation, no matter how small the contribution is. Overpower your fixed mindset with a growth mindset. So when you think that you are going to fail in a situation, replay or rewrite that thought to tell yourself that you will win and conquer the goal or task at hand. Also, take action. Practice living in a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And ask someone close to you to hold, be your accountability partner to hold you, to making this lifestyle change. The power of affirmations. So affirmations are sentences and statements that we tell ourselves to change our negative mindset to a positive mindset, or to provide encouragement and boost our self-confidence. Over time, affirmations have the power to influence our behavior, our actions, our habits, and our reactions. Affirmations are written based on what we want to achieve or a situation that we want to improve in our life. Oprah said, "The way you think creates realities in your life." Will Smith said, "Your life will be better by making someone else's life better." The first step is to believe in it. So Lady Gaga, Jim Carrey, Kerry Walsh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a host of other celebrities use affirmations to improve the quality of their life. I am stems are powerful stems that you can use to create affirmations. So, for example, if you wanted to write an affirmation for building upon your relationship, you can say, "I am clear at what I want in my relationship. I am a good listener. I am responsible for my actions in my relationships. I will allow myself to learn from others as they learn from me." Those are just a few affirmations that you can use to improve your relationships. So I challenge you to use the I am stems to start writing affirmations, especially if you're not familiar with writing them. Noticing greatness in others. Taking heed to others' greatness is very powerful because it has the potential to change a relationship really quickly. It is also a great way to build trust with others. Noticing others' greatness may seem simple, but it's a difficult task when you are conditioned to seeing the qualities that you don't like in others. So I'm gonna share a personal story. My husband wasn't always the greatest with the finances, and so he put us in some rough spots at times, which really made me upset. And not only would I get upset about the finances, I would get upset about other things that did not relate to the finances. But every time I did this, it put me further and further away from seeing his greatness. And if you ask me, I could ramble off one or two things that I thought he was great at, but not because he was a bad person. It was because I wasn't great at complimenting him on his greatness. So I completed an exercise where I was challenged to write down a list of his great qualities. And at first, it was challenging and difficult for me to do because I was so used to just looking at his flaws. But as I did it, the exercise, it actually improved how I saw him. So it increased my ability to be able to see his greatness versus always looking at his flaws. So I challenge you to take a relationship that might not be so great in your life, um, and it may be your husband, it may be your brother, sister, mother, your coworker, and just write down a list of their greatness, and it would definitely change the quality of that relationship. So we're up to G, giving anonymously. Giving is one of the most selfless things that you can do while impacting someone's life. Giving makes you feel good, but when you give anonymously, it takes the it out of it being about you out of the equation. So when you give and give without expectation, it improves your psychological health. If you have one of those tit for a tat mentalities, it is killing your abundance factor. Not always can we give anonymously, and please give publicly as well. But when you give anonymously, please do so. You can give anonymously by leaving $1 or $5 in a public place like a restroom or a dressing room. You can send someone a money order or a cashier's check that you know is in need. You can create a $100 scholarship fund for a student going off to college. You can offer to pay the tab or a tip at a restaurant, just to name a few. I challenge you to come up with your own, ways of giving anonymously. it would definitely make your life better. So we're at the last acronym, which is express gratitude. Why is it that thanks mainly is expressed during Thanksgiving when we should be giving thanks every day for just being alive? Gratitude is free and the benefits are ginormous in your personal life and relationships. So some of the benefits of showing gratefulness is it can improve an old and start a new relationship. It has physical and psychological health benefits. It reduces aggression, help you sleep better, improve self-esteem, increase mental strength, and foster resilience. So you can show gratitude daily by writing someone a thank you note. I actually gave my twins a thank you note for just being great kids. They never complain about anything. They do whatever is asked of them. They don't talk back. So they just are great kids all around. I worked with children for 15 years, so I know that there can be a tug of war between parents and kids, and I just don't have those type of kids. My kids are very respectful, and I am grateful for that because it makes my life a whole lot easier. You can share with loved ones why you are grateful to have them in your life. Publicly share your gratefulness for something someone did for you or helped you with. Compliment yourself. How many times do we compliment ourselves for, being thankful for the talents and brains and, everything that we have that's in this whole package that makes up us. Make a list of ways on how you impressed yourself lately. And the biggest, biggest way to show gratitude is to start a gratitude journey. So Oprah stated that if you want to change the state of being, start expressing gratitude. Oprah also shared on her show how she started a gratitude journal. She has had this gratitude journal for about 16 years now. And every day she would write down 5 things that she was grateful for. But somehow her schedule got, overloaded, and she took on more responsibilities, and she has originally stopped her ritual of writing in this journal. She woke up one day and said she realized that how could she be so busy to the point where she didn't feel delight. And around the time when she was starting her own network, she was so focused on starting this network that she lost sight of being grateful for having opportunity to even be able to climb this mountain of owning a network. And once she realized that, a shift changed in her life. So Oprah is a testimonial to, the benefits of having a gratitude journal. It would definitely change the quality of your life. So I highly suggest starting a gratitude journal as soon as possible. So I have given you a synopsis of the areas that are covered in the 6-step change program. Are you a butterfly that is ready to improve the quality of your life and relationships? If so, you can join me for a take notes and treats session on August 1st, 2016 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register at my for this event at my website at www.coachingwithclark.com. Again, that web address is www.coachingwithclark.com. And that's Clark with an E. I look forward to helping you make a change in your life and relationships. Thank you.